Welcome back to Soccer Card United. It's episode 259 of the greatest soccer card podcast in the world. My name is Jason. That's Enzo. Hello, Enzo.
Hello, Jason.
Based on the lighting, you're obviously in a lit office and with the blinds closed, people can't see. But I usually have natural light coming through in front of me. And based on the lighting, if you're watching the video, you might think that we're recording this at night, but we're not. It's just November in Dublin, and I'm sitting here essentially in the dark at 2:30 in the afternoon.
That's right. It's our birthday season, Scorpio season in full effect, Jason. And with that in Ireland, of course, we experience seasons very dramatically, very drastically. So
the nights close in.
The nights close in very fast. Yeah, no doubt about it.
I think I might have to get one of those
sad
lamps because I don't know if I can podcast like this all through the
all through the winter.
Oh. I need something just off camera.
Do you think we'll have a podcast break over the Christmas period, or do you think we'll have a choco-block Christmas schedule?
I think the podcast will probably be on. Actually, yeah, I'm away over Christmas, so it'll probably be a 2-week break.
Are you in a different country during Christmas Day?
No, but
then I don't care.
I'm in a different country for New Year's, if that's.
Oh, then that's interesting too. That is interesting.
There's 2 windows of interest. One is Christmas, one is New Year's. I was able to.
Do you know there could be a lot of carnage in terms of shipping this Christmas because Christmas Day falls on a Wednesday, so that whole kind of final week of December could be a mess for shipping. FedEx said that to me as well. They were kind of like New Year's Eve, Stephen's Day is kind of off. People aren't going to come in on the Friday really, and the Monday really. It's kind of
yeah.
So we'll wait and see if anyone if you need stuff for Christmas or for the New Year's, you'd want to order before Christmas week.
I presume Soccer Card United will have soccercardsunited.com will have a Christmas shipping cutoff date.
Yeah, we might put a banner up this year.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
Otherwise, by the way, guaranteed for Christmas.
By the way, soccercardsunited.com is full choco-block full of SKUs, more than it has ever been. I think since we started it, Jason, like 4 years ago.
Whoa!
I've never seen so many SKUs. There's American football. There's not baseball. There's not a lot of baseball, but there's going to be a lot of baseball as well once I get around to it. But there's a lot of stuff there, and we recently just got in Merlin Blasters. It took us a long time to get Merlin Chrome Blasters, but we officially have them. So
yes, just not any less than 90 days after people were looking for them.
That's right. But now we have them.
So where we have them. There's all sorts of goodies there on soccercardsunited.com. All sorts of perfect gifts for the whole family for Christmas.
People have been messaging, particularly Irish people, about I want to get this for Christmas, that for Christmas.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So there we go. One thing that is not up there or not up there yet is Topps Chrome UEFA Euro 2024. Which we talked about extensively on Tuesday because it was going to come out the following day. It did come out.
That's right.
And it's still out and it's still available on Topps's website. I have the US Topps listing here for a sealed case.
12-box sealed case in a sapphire style presentation box, if you will. Yes.
That's $1,800 is the going rate for that.
They managed to put only licensed players on the front, which is very good.
And if you go through the designs that they've listed, they know. I feel like they've gotten better with dealing with the unlicensed since the feedback on Finest and Pristine. So you got some nice inserts, dual autos. Yeah,
is the triple? Keep going. Is the triple unlicensed? Yeah.
And this is a fantastic selection of players: Henry, Zidane, Vieira,
and they cut it off relatively well. To be fair,
yeah
they really just give them heads.
But yeah, I think it's just that white. It's just
not good.
Immediately recognizable as not the thing. But I love this Big Phil Scolari card. Yeah. That's a great card.
That's a fantastic card.
Global domination, all sorts of stuff. There's a big Ronaldo focus, as we mentioned. So these cards are looking good, and they're still available. From Topps, there's a Net Relic, a Merlin.
Beautiful. Yeah, fascinating.
So yeah, that's an interesting thing. Another thing from this listing, just to say, as what you pointed out to me before we got on the air, was that if you go onto this or any Topps.com listing right now, you will be able to add Fanatics supplies.
Oh, shudder.
So you used to be able to get what, Ultra Pro, was it?
Yeah, they and it originally used to not be able to get anything. Then it was Ultra Pro, and then obviously that must have went well enough for them to say, we can manufacture things in China, like we'll do that.
Yeah. So you can now get everything from top loaders to sleeves to top loaders to sleeves. You can
BCW?
still get some Ultra Pro and some BCW.
They're more expensive, are they? That's brilliant.
I suppose so. Yeah,
makes sense. I mean,
it's
I
fair
showed
enough.
you. Yeah, it's fair enough. I showed you, and you said it looks like an April Fool's. Because it's kind of like it's one part of the vertical. I don't think we ever really thought about was supplies, but it does make sense.
Yeah, it makes sense, but it does kind of. It's like almost a kind of self-parody of Fanatics' monopolistic kind of thinking.
That's right. We're not a monopoly, but we'll also make the sleeves.
Yeah, it's like, all right, lads. If you want to stop the monopoly, I can say just leave Ultra Pro BCW there. They're not hurting anybody.
Yeah, but why would you? But why would you? Like when you've done everything else and people buy the boxes off you, why not plug in? It does make sense, like logically.
People need top loaders and sleeves when they order.
Yeah. It's interesting that it's Fanatics as well. Like there is a real push of like the Fanatics brand is bigger than Tops kind of thing. Like it has been throughout. It's like it's and obviously that kind of cleans it up a little bit. If it was Tops loaders, it looks like a monopoly because the Fanatics aren't being necessarily accused of the monopoly. It's kind of a Tops monopoly, even though
yeah.
But it's interesting. It is. It's been a very interesting exercise in quote unquote elevating your own brand separate to Tops. Do you know what I mean? It's like the Tops brand is there. We'll use it for Tops Chrome. We'll use it where we can, but we're also going to just expose Fanatics to all of these people, which is not necessarily a good thing for the Fanatics brand. I don't think. If people's reaction is I don't like this, then it's like you're kind of forcing. You're almost giving the scapegoat as your brand and not the Tops brand. They do like I don't know. Listen, it's big business. This is bigger than my payroll. Let me tell you.
I was explaining the hobby to somebody yesterday, as I often do. People stop me in the street and they say, "What's all this about?"
Yeah, come on.
And I said, I was explaining. So Tops were bought by Fanatics, and they said, "Fanatics, I got some Buffalo Bills jerseys off Fanatics. Is that that Fanatics?" And I said, "Yeah." And they said, "Why are they making cards?" And I said, "That's a good question."
That's great.
And then they were like, "I kind of going to see it's all the sports merchandise kind of sphere." But even like we saw Blue Moon came out as well, Manchester City Blue Moon. Enzo was reaching for something. Oh my God, he has a box of Manchester City Blue Moon.
Saves you editing one onto the screen, Jason. There you go. Whoa. I'm always thinking of you.
Incredible.
That's right.
Real props. No green screen here. But that's obviously under the Tops FC brand, which seems to be how they're going for the team sets and stuff like that. And I think if Tops were still in charge or we're still kind of an independent company, they might say, well, we're not calling it Tops FC. That's a dilution of our brand, the Tops brand. Yeah, again, if you're not watching this, you're missing out.
You're missing big time.
So many layers. But I think Fanatics are like, well, it's not your brand, it's our brand to dilute now, so it's got Tops FC. It was just kind of an interesting thing.
Can I say, speaking of like kind of exposing people to the hobby in general, I was out with friends as well. They were talking to me a little bit, and I was trying to explain live selling, and I was just about to get into it. And I said, do you know what? And I opened up the Whatnot app and I just clicked onto a thing, and I just went like, do you see this? And I was getting ready to explain it, and they just went, oh, that's like gambling. And I was like, do you know what? I was like, do you know what? I guess that's there you go. There's the short and sweet of it. That's an easy way to do it. So like literally, they didn't really understand what I was about. Like I didn't even get into its breaks, its boxes. I was just like, look, this is kind of something that's disrupting our industry in kind of a big way. And I just showed it, and they went, oh, like gambling this is. And I was like, yeah, that's right.
Just purely from the interface.
Yeah, just straight away. Oh, that's gambling. That looks. There's bells, whistles, and there's wheels spinning, and this looks like gambling to me.
It's the various kind of sirens and things going on.
There was no cards on the screen. You know, at that point, it was like they were filling the thing, and it just like bid money, big wheel spinning around, a lot of bells, a lot of whistles. I was like, this is gambling, right? I was like,
yes. This is like going onto Paddy Power or something, going into the live casino.
That's right. That's the vibe of it. That's live selling, I guess.
But I suppose that's just a stylistic thing, because you go on to QVC or something, they're selling mops.
That's right.
And I suppose there's no big spinning wheels to see who gets it. There could be, yeah.
That's right.
Eurochrome, that's what we were talking about. And a few big hits from Eurochrome have started to come out, started to show themselves. Obviously, we saw a big hit, I think, on Tuesday as well, but these are kind of official
big hits. Yeah, that's right.
Hey Man Nice Cards, who I believe is an Indiana-based collector, perhaps, hit this 1-of-1 Lamine Yamal Superfractor autograph national debut.
That's beautiful.
That's a nice old card, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Chapter 24 in Roman numerals. Yep. So that's another Lamine Yamal Super Auto. We're all very excited to see how these national debut Super Autos compare to his rookie.
I do like that. You have the kind of Spanish flag kind of tints in the background, and obviously That super factor power. People don't love that design, like that the big space kind of where the auto is. I've seen a lot of kind of
Yeah.
people going, "What the hell?" But for me, in this image, that looks like an unbelievable card.
Do you know whose autograph would look great on that kind of card is Hyun-Min Son.
And
The
Ronaldo.
kind of big chunky auto, yeah. But Lamine Yamal's a bit tight on the
That's
old
right. Yeah,
auto.
he's leaving a lot of space.
He is. But we won't hold that against him.
Certainly not.
Just a couple of other things to have a look at. This, I don't know why this is kind of coming up weird, but some golden goal breakers here. Netherlands champions, super. Got a great card if you were a Dutch collector. Nice dual auto there, Pedri and Iniesta. I love that Shevchenko, the jersey that he's wearing in that.
Yeah.
I believe these are black to 10. The blacks do look slightly grey, is one if I had to be critical of this set.
What do you mean grey? Like at the edges?
No, this like where, these are like black parallels, and I just think they look slightly grey. They're not jet black. They're not like...
Right, my screen is not quite giving me it looks jet black to me.
Maybe somebody's screen, it could be mine, it could be yours,
right.
I don't know. Yeah, so there's all sorts of nice... black lasers are not... There's no jumbo configuration, so they're in hobby, unlike in UCC Chrome.
Yeah, I like it. To be honest, once you get by the licensing, like I don't like any of the licensed cards, but all of the unlicensed cards, all of the licensed cards look great. And if it does have like it has that tournament feel to it, it has what it's supposed to be like and feel like this set. Number to 7 are really, really nice, but unfortunately just obviously came out so late, and obviously the unlicensed of a lot of the big ones. But we're lucky to have Portugal and Spain licensed cards, because those are some of the most beautiful cards in the set.
I think like obviously these do have the tournament feel, and I think even with the unlicensed thing, I actually think what was holding this product back, or what has held this product back, is the timing of the release more than the lack of licenses, because the product has been designed in such a way that they've worked around the lack of licenses, they've leaned into their strengths, they've focused on the kind of stuff they can print and can look really good. And if this come out during the tournament, I think this product would have just like kind of gone, people would have absolutely loved it. And then maybe the plan was to get Merlin, which had the memorabilia stuff, out after the tournament, and then they've ended up folding it all into a later product. But I think this kind of makes me excited, hopefully,
next one.
For the next one. I only have 3.5 years to wait for that. But,
that's right. Hopefully it's great. No, but I agree with that. It's weird because like, can they... Obviously, the Ronaldo stuff, like, can they double that back again the next time around or whatever? But in general, I think that they will be able, like, all the Road to and all that, was that really too messy? But do you need the tournament to happen to still have the right players in it, etc., etc.? Like, if they're on time, could they have been missing Yamal and stuff like that? I don't know. Like, we don't know that side of things, to be honest. But the cards that are licensed in that set look fantastic.
The Ronaldo thing, he probably won't be at the next Euros.
Yeah.
So that'll be kind of this is a nice kind of bookend to his European Championships career. They said stuff like the UEFA Player of the Year, looking back through the years, like the Modric 2017 looks fantastic. But I trust that they'll come up with more stuff. It may not be all, they're not all going to be.
Yeah, we just have to hope the licensing gets sorted out, because that is out of their control, at least for the first one. Like, that wasn't part of the plan, definitely.
And that's a pretty. It's another. If they change nothing else except everything was licensed, then.
It's another example of kind of how the licensing wars have kind of impacted collectors as well. Like, obviously, in the American sports, you're seeing specific athletes getting signed to exclusive deals, so there's no autographs in certain products. Over here, that was the biggest one that's kind of impacted soccer so far, was the licensing for that European Championship sets.
Yep. Just Soccer Cards HQ did their review, and there were some interesting mats being crunched, including various print runs of short prints. So just to fill you in from what Soccer Cards HQ is saying, the cast and gold die cuts apparently run about 50 per subject. Each team has a base card short print with a run of about 25, print run about 25. And the Berlin by night, or Berlin at night cards, which look good even with a lack of licensing because of the way they're designed, apparently are around 20 cards per player, which is the kind of short print you need to be in for an unnumbered insert or parallel to really hit.
Yeah. I like that. I like and that seems to be something that Topps have been doing recently, which is adding in those one in every 8 case, one in every 4 case. Like, you want to see that, definitely.
Yeah. And I think we've found over time that what's considered short print is
Changes.
getting shorter.
That's right. 101.
As print runs get longer, maybe people can, I don't know, untangle that one yourself at home. There is a Hidden Gems Ronaldo, which looks fantastic.
Definitely, yeah, seen that one.
All sorts of stuff. So yeah, so I think apart from the licensing being a pretty massive issue,
the timing was obviously
the timing being another massive issue. But all that being said,
they priced it well.
They priced it well, yeah. And it's good.
Yeah, big thumbs up. I can't wait to get my hands on it, Jason.
Yeah, there you go. Just a quick look at the Ronaldo Hidden Gems.
That's beautiful.
Which will
I'm hoping there's a Yamal in there as well. Fascinating that wasn't numbered the way that the Disney one came out numbered. That was an interesting.
Yeah, a little change.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Another thing that's still active is this Flagship pre-order, and we already went through this extensively on Tuesday. But I just want to, Enzo, I'll let you do this because.
That's right, Jason. Flagship edition. Look at that box. Tops in red. Underneath it says Flagship edition. Let me tell the people at home. That was a big suggestion that we had actually made. Right to the head honchos, Jason. Right to the top.
Yeah.
We were in Cleveland. We had a sit down at one point, myself and you, Jason. And that was just a little bit of a fight. We said, guys, we understand the history of Topps Flagship in baseball and da-da-da-da-da. In the last 2-3 years, we've had a big struggle with people entering the hobby and us saying, Flagship is what you want to buy, and they're going, I don't know what product what are you talking about? No product says Flag. What do we mean? And when you're trying to list cards or search for, if you open this box, you're trying to list cards, what do you list it as? It's Topps UEFA Club Competition. What is it? It's Flagship, but it's not. And the fact that we were talking about Flagship and everyone knew what product we were talking about, even though I never said Flagship anywhere, was a big problem. So we made that suggestion. And as far as I'm concerned, that is the reason Flagship Edition is on that box, and that makes me very happy, Jason.
And perhaps even more excitingly for listeners of this podcast is that conversation in Cleveland was based on a suggestion made on this very podcast. So it went from podcast content to
IRL content,
and now we're looking at something on Topps.com that was originated on this podcast.
Yeah, and we're talking about one of the biggest releases of the year. I know it's not Topps Chrome, but it's the first of the year. It's the proper first. It's Flagship,
Yes.
So for that change to actually happen in the same year that this seems to be coming out in December is, Jason, that's one for the history books. We might get that printed out and put on the wall. Yeah.
And get a nice framed, box of Flagship flattened out, maybe.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, we had to just take our bow for that.
That's right.
If we had a producer on the show, I would have tasked them to go and find out.
Go back and pull it, and
go back and pull the clip.
Yeah, brilliant.
But considering I would have had to have done that.
Yeah, we're not getting that done. I'm sure there's a way of putting the entire catalog of our podcast into a ChatGPT or something and tell them to pull out the transcript where it says Flagship should be called. But then anytime we mention Flagship, we would have said Flag. It's very confusing,
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure how many trees it's worth burning for that. Right. People have to just take us on faith. That and people know.
People remember. Yeah. Come on, what are we talking
about? I can tell you from the analytics that we don't have that many new listeners to the point where people are like, "That was before my time. I don't remember that."
That's right.
But welcome to any new listeners, by the way.
A lot of people listen to the back catalog, believe it or not. That's why we do Hobby HQ at the front now.
Imagine you were listening to it kind of in order, but you were catching up. So you're listening to maybe a couple a day or one a day, and so literally maybe 2 weeks apart it happens, as opposed to months apart.
That's right. Years.
On your run of the podcast, you go, "Oh, that's a good suggestion," and then bang, it happened. Wow,
these fellas are different.
Yeah, that's right. We should release box sets of the podcast, episode 1 to 50 on I don't know, vinyl or something.
Blu-ray.
On Blu-ray, yeah, that'd be nice. Special features, us and the kind of director's chair talking about the making of the podcast.
Listen, we have a year to get that together as the perfect Christmas gift.
Yeah, other hobby businesses do like Christmas repacks or Christmas hampers or whatever. We're doing Christmas box sets of the podcast.
And what we can do, we can sell the VHS tape, the actual tape recorder, because people have thrown them out. They don't have them, so it's like we just make a VHS or cassette. Yeah. What do we call them? What do we? I don't even remember.
A VHS tape goes into a VCR player,
I don't remember any of that now. Like I know I have them, but I don't remember the names because VHS sounds more American than whatever term I would have used.
Yeah, I would have said video. I would have said a video.
Well, there you go. Look, we ideas all the time on this show. Maybe some of them hit, some of them don't, Jason. How about that?
Yeah. That's what Fanatics would do, is they'd say, why don't we make the players as well?
Make the TVs.
Why are we letting Ultra Pro make them? Okay, let's check in with the Golden 100 because a discrepancy has opened up between the gold powers of Cristiano Ronaldo and Leo Messi. Previous discussions have been one's a PSA
sounds like
10.
the opening to like a superhero movie. Like you just did a news anchor. Discrepancies have opened up between the two gold powers. Yeah. It's like these are superheroes. I love it.
We cut to Iron Man, I don't know, destroying a village or something.
That's right.
So the Messi 2014 Panini Prism World Cup Gold Power 5 of 5 graded authentic is at $30,000.
It's a big number.
While the Cristiano Ronaldo Captain's Gold Power PSA 10 is at $7,500, and there's 2.5 days left until extended bidding opens on both of those.
That's a fascinating kind of split. Obviously, one is the base, so that means more than an insert, but then one's authentic, one's PSA 10, one's Messi, one's Ronaldo. It's a fascinating split.
Both are being dwarfed by the other soccer listing on the Golden 100, which is this match-worn Leo Messi photo-matched jersey from the 2010-11 UEFA Champions League semi-final first leg. 2 goals in the 76th and 87th minute. $67,000 currently for that. So,
do you know who that was against?
Was it against Real Madrid?
I don't know. I think it was, yeah. Yeah.
I believe it was.
2-0 against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. Yeah. That's what it says here.
So, quite extraordinary piece of memorabilia. And that's more than double the 2014 Prism Gold Power.
I suppose that's a 101, isn't it?
That's a 101. So yeah, well, the only reason I went in to check on those was that by the time the next podcast comes out, it'll all be settled. It'll all be settled. Enzo, I know you have a piece of news regarding some second division collectibles, but before we get to that, just before we get to it, I wanted to say I saw this announcement on Fanatics, which is Leeds United partnering with Fanatics to enhance their retail experience. So Fanatics are taking over Leeds kind of e-commerce stuff and creating various merchandise. And I just wondered if Fanatics got into this and found it to be successful as they have with other clubs that they've taken on relationships with in terms of e-commerce or merch or whatever. And then we see card licenses eventually being built out. If Leeds United turns to be profitable for Fanatics, maybe a card deal could rear its head, and then maybe if Leeds works, maybe the EFL in general will work, and maybe second division collectibles are a good idea. And maybe, Enzo, there you can go.
No, I was going to say, you're in your little anecdote there, you're not accounting for Leeds, the mighty Leeds, to go up to the Premier League, and then the EFL might get overlooked.
Yeah, that's true.
However, the news I had, after you were talking about the Premier League too, I actually seen a breaking news on Twitter, I believe. You might have an article or something here, that Panini, and this is not Panini America, this is Panini Spain, which is one of the sister companies of the wider Panini group, if you will, are starting to do, for the first time ever, stickers, an exclusive set of stickers for the Spanish Segunda, which is the second league in Spain. So essentially, not quite Premier League 2. This is like the Championship. This is your Serie B. This is your second division in Spain. You get promoted to La Liga from here. And they're doing an official sticker album, which you would imagine they could end up with a Mega Cracks there, etc., etc. But just to see either one of these companies dipping into actual second division soccer is fascinating.
Yeah, this is a translated article from a Spanish language site called Relevo. The secret of the new football album is revealed. There will be a Segunda collection 30 years later. Panini plans to present the new collection in the coming days in an almost unprecedented commitment to La Liga Hypermotion. I guess Hypermotion is a current sponsor of the Segunda. This season, clubs like Deportivo La Coruña, Cordoba, Castellón, Malaga have been promoted to the second division with huge fan bases, a la Leeds United in England. Other clubs like Cadiz, Almeria and Granada have been relegated from the first division. In addition, historic clubs such as Sporting Gijón, Oviedo, Zaragoza, Levante, Tenerife, etc., 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 are in Segunda as well. There's loads of massive, historically large clubs, bigger than some of the clubs in La Liga. and now Panini have decided to follow them. This article also observes this is not an isolated case. Both the Championship in England and the Bundesliga too have increasingly better attendance figures in the German second division. For example, there are quite a few current Bundesliga champions. There are quite currently a few Bundesliga champions like Hamburg, Cologne, Kaiserslautern, Braunschweig, Brunswick, Nuremberg, and tops, of course, tops now for the Bundesliga SFI as well. So it could be a trend. That could be a little soccer trend now.
Opportunity galore, especially as all these teams kind of become juiced up, and then big, historically big clubs get relegated, etc., etc. The Segunda and the second division across soccer is pretty strong and full of fans. Fans. If you're looking at it from a fanatic's point of view and you're just after fans, it doesn't really matter. There's huge attendances that shows that there's a huge base of fans that essentially can be sold to.
Yeah, if you're in England and your Brentfords and your Brightons are playing and your Bournemouths are playing in the Premier League and your Sunderlands and your Leeds Uniteds are in the EFL, then maybe there's opportunity there, but arbitrage.
Yep, and you would assume cheaper licensing deals, etc., etc., etc. So it's pretty strong.
Pretty strong. Okay, so that was an interesting trend to keep an eye on. A couple of kind of what I would call miscellaneous items to wrap us up today.
Yeah.
We've been talking about Roger Goodell, the NFL commissioner, has been talking about Ireland now for a little while and mentioned it again the other day.
No.
NFL, this is from the 10th of November, so just a few days ago. Roger Goodell says Ireland could host a regular season game as soon as 2025. And last month, he told BBC Sport that he had no doubt Dublin would stage a game in future. Speaking before the game between the New York Giants and Carolina Panthers in Munich, Goodell said the NFL could play as many as 8 matches outside the US next year. He said, "We expect to return to Mexico City. We expect to return to Brazil. And we will certainly be back in the UK. And we're also looking at the potential of a game in Ireland. Possibly, that's a possibility. And we certainly be back here in Germany. So that's a total 8 is what we're shooting for. So it looks like
we might have an NFL weekend in Dublin.
Yes. Very exciting.
That would be a dream. We could organise a trade night. We could have a lot of fun with that.
The Irish hobby, yeah. So Dublin been put on the map there. If there's an NFL game and a college football game, then the Irish hobby is going to get more of that American sport influence, and people are going to. There's all sorts of cross pollination happening. It's good. It's good stuff. Also, speaking of the Irish hobby and kind of international growth, I just want to give a quick congratulations to MGC from the UK, who have chosen to open. Have chosen to open their EU office in Dublin. Just to give them their credit, big news, MGC is expanding across Europe. We're thrilled to announce our second office in Dublin, Ireland. That's not their second office in Dublin, it's their second office overall. It's located in Dublin.
That's right.
After the incredible success of the Dublin Card Show and strong demand from EU collectors are making it more easier than ever to grade with MGC. Our UK HQ remains the heart of MGC, but Dublin will be an extension with the same grading standards you trust. So isn't that very, very exciting?
It's brilliant to get the shout out to the show there, especially. This is what we've been saying to Nat Turner for the longest time, set PSA up in Dublin. So to be honest, I just think a hobby company choosing Dublin as a secondary location for its operations, I think could really set a trend of other hobby companies maybe following suit. Maybe Fanatic Supplies out of Dublin.
That'd be great. Fanatic Supplies depot. That's the dream. So congratulations to MGC and as the official kind of hobby representatives of Dublin, we want to thank them for bringing the business to us. We're like the foreign investment people for the hobby.
We should actually frame this as well. We should frame this announcement and bring it to our kind of foreign relations here in Dublin and say we have literally brought businesses to this country.
Yes. Yeah. Surely we should be getting some sort of government support or something.
That's right. So a government stipend.
Yeah, I would like to be, eventually get an ambassadorship, based off the back of that.
Oh, imagine that if you were just like a Dublin ambassador.
Yeah.
At the end, they bring you out during the NFL ceremony and you're the one to kind of, the equivalent of the first pitch.
Yeah. Be amazing.
That's what I want. I want the Guardians to come to Dublin and let us do a first pitch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, stuff like that. My God. That's right. Wasn't Stephen Kwan.
Practicing beforehand with Stephen Kwan. He's like, just giving you tips, giving you pointers.
What you do is, right.
Wow. So, so kind of, I would say short but sweet episodes of the podcast just there.
Definitely.
I hope everyone's enjoying Eurochrome. I hope to enjoy it myself.
Indulge in it.
I hope to indulge in it myself when the time comes. Check out soccercardsunited.com. There's all sorts of stuff. Check out dublincardshow.com. Get your tickets. And other than that, we're back on Tuesday for episode 260.
That's right. It's going to be a big one. 260.
Okay.
See you
Have
then,
a good
Jason.
weekend.
Thank you.
Oh, and happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you too this weekend. Hey.
Okay.